Okay, this is going to be a weekly recap from the 29th to the second day of September, and I am at the point of the week where I don't really remember the trades, so it's going to be good for me to go over them one by one, but I do remember this. This was basically the summary of my trade, and this is what's going to keep me from trading like a complete newbie. You're in a setup, it hasn't failed yet, it hasn't broken your risk level, but you see some price action that just looks garbage or looks scary, or it looks like it might try to break your risk level, but it's not there, or it hasn't broken it, and you just get out the trade, and then you take an L. And then the setup doesn't break the risk level, it develops over a longer period of time, it works out, it starts to uptrend, and then you're out of the position, and you either have to just take the L, or you're going to then try to maybe chase the setup when it's much higher, and then it doesn't move much more and you take another L. Very newbie mistake to be in the trade because you see a setup, looks a little scary, you get out and then it works out. This is the lesson for the week. If the setup hasn't worked, do not cut unless it breaks risk level. And if the risk level is the day low, I'll make an exception. If it looks like it's going to break the day low, then I will consider cutting the trade. If it breaks below the day low, in theory, it might downtrend a lot more. There's going to be more slippage. It might create a big panic in some cases, depending on the setup where it is on the chart. Of course, a whole bunch of things going on with that. But if it's not going to look like it's going to break it, and it's not the day low, then of course you're gonna hold on to the position, even if it looks scary a bit later. I don't know why I had to say that so confusingly. I don't really have that much sleep, but it is a lot more sleep than I had in the last recording. I just don't want to be in that situation again. I had that one painful trade. I don't like how my stats show that only 20% of my trades were according to my $40 risk level, so I need to try to maybe overestimate on how much size I'm supposed to have, or maybe be a little less scared and pick a proper level where worst case scenario can happen and then trade off of that. My average dollar gain and loss are about the same. My average percent gain was a bit better. My average position size on the losing setups was a bit larger, and my time was about the same. I made just $9 with $2,200, almost $2,100 of dollar volume, and that was again with 11 trades. Let's go over the trades one by one. There were a lot of them that could have really worked out, but yeah, it just seems like I needed to have more shares. And again, that thing I went over. Let's look at the first trade, which is GEGI on the 29th. This one was a bit of an annoying one. I missed a few setups with this one just because of how ugly it traded, but I think with more experience I can be able to get better. This one is nice because it did try to break past the 1 penny level here, and it even did it here, but this is a day where it officially did something like that. 29th is going to be the first day right here. I was in at 933 at 102, and this was a dip and rip, so we'll zoom in a bit more. 933, I was in at 102, so why did I get in? I thought it was a dip and rip, so the idea was that it is uptrending over a longer period of time, and this one is nice because it might try to break above the 1 penny level, which it did do ultimately this day. And again, I was in it right here. Not the best entry considering what it ended up doing, but that's totally fine. I think I got in it right here because it looked like it was going to do it right here and there, where it opens, it has a downtrend, it had this wick, which was nice, and then it looks like it's going to bounce immediately and start the uptrend, break this level, break the day high, ideally make a morning spike. I got out 940 at 10125. So 940 was right here, 10125. So I got out right around here. Yeah, it didn't help that I was in right here, and then I didn't have the ability to really be able to get out of this one profitably. I think it did uptrend here, and I sold a piece, but I didn't sell everything. And then once I had this ugly red candle, I got out. It looks like this one did have like a downtrend, but it was still higher than this level. This is an example where on the trade setup like this, my risk level is the day low. It's not working out. I'm in at a crappy price. It just had an uptrend, and I sold a piece, and then it failed. But it never broke it. I could have held on to this setup, Even though right here it doesn't have the best volume, it still held on to it. And look, it went as high as 12 too. So this thing was an example of the thing I was talking about. Let's just see what a sell at 12.2 would have been. Yeah, 40 bucks. That's massive. Is that even legit? Yeah, I mean, that's best case scenario. So, let's just see what a sell at 11 would have been. Totally possible. 16 bucks. Yep, I have the possibility to be better. This was a great example. It looks like it took a few more trades until I came across this lesson. Let's look at the next trade, which is DPLS, which is a slow morning panic bounce play. DPLS is also on the 29th. 29th is going to be right here, right around here. It makes sense for a morning panic bounce play. Probably zoom in more since it's a morning panic bounce play. I was in at 946.382. 946.382, so I was in. All right, looks like I didn't do it from the very beginning. Okay, so this was the one I traded. This one right here, 946. Right here, and I was in at 382, so I got in at right here. Why? Slow morning panic bounce play, downtrends from 41. Gets as low as 37 and it's uptrending, but it's doing it very slowly. Again, I was way over here, I believe, at 946, 382, and I did get out 948, 2 minutes later at 38. So again, I was in right here at 946, 382, and then I got out at 948, and I sold for a loss. It did downtrend a bit more. Another example, morning panic bounce play. What is my risk level? The day low. So if it were to have downtrended to the day low and it looks like it's going to break it, I'm going to be getting out ideally before it actually does. Maybe it doesn't break the day low and it bounces, too bad. I just want to play it safe when it's the day low because it might panic a lot further and it might be like a big red candle. Although we did break the day low later, but it was very slow and gradual. But I think something like this where I'm in the setup, it bounces and then it breaks it immediately. I think that would, make it more likely to be a big red candle. This one was another example. Same lesson. The setup worked. It did take a very long time. It did take a very long time for it to work out, and it didn't work out that much. I mean, it did get above VWAP, but just a little tick. I guess the best case scenario was 39. Let's just see what a sell at 39 would have been. And that would have been a sell at the ask. Yeah, that would have been profitable too. And again, not close, but no, actually close, but not necessarily trading the right amount of shares. This would have brought it a little closer to $40 risk level. So another example, for a morning panic bounce play. In this case, I need to cut the trade only if it looks like it's going to break my risk level, if it's the day low, or if it actually breaks it and it's not the day low, then then I'll be selling. Let's look at GEGI. This is the trade that made me like type in all caps and realize this. Very stupid newbie mistake. So I can't believe I've been trading for as long as I haven't. Just now I'm really starting to address this issue, but at least I'm doing it now. Let's look at GEGI for the 29th. 29th is going to be right here. So yeah, it did have that break above 1 penny, the same stock from previously, I believe. Yeah, I traded it later in the day. High of day breakout. I was in at 955.107. So first let's get this back. 955 was, I'll zoom in more right here. 955.107. So I got in right here at 107. So actually we got in right here at the top, near the top. It makes sense. The day high is right here. Looks like it's going to break it. And in this type of setup, I could risk VWAP or maybe this range right here at 97. Not necessarily the day low. Maybe VWAP, because VWAP is also 1 cent. So it's like the nice round number, and VWAP never broke under VWAP. I'm sure I sold this thing for a loss. This one sucked. I did sell it at 957 2 minutes later, just like the other trade. And that was at 103. So 957, 103. Right here, I got out at 103. I was in right here. I got out right here. took an L, didn't risk my level, which would have been this 1 cent level or VWAP, or maybe this range in 97. I think my risk level was 1 cent. Let's just, no, I won't have it recorded. I will have my worst case scenario recorded, which is 88. But I think I was risking VWAP. And, you know, worst case, it breaks it, and then it has like a big panic, and I get out with some slippage. So, yeah, this one worked. I mean, it got as high as 122. Again, that same level. And, yeah, I just took an L because, you know, I'm in it right here. Oh my gosh, it's going to fall. Doesn't break my level. Get out the trade. I lose money. Works out later. We're going to try to avoid that. Good lesson. Let's look at GGII for the 29th. A lot of trades on the 29th. 29th is going to be right here. And this one's a bit scary. I've traded this before when it had its first few run-ups a long time ago. Very scary stock. 29th is going to be from this point, if it lets me. I was in at 1034 at 190, and this was a head and shoulders, shoulder long. So 1034, 190. I'm going to zoom in a bit more. 1034 was right here. I got in right here in this red candle at 190. Why did I get in this? I thought it was a head and shoulders pattern. Shoulder, head, shoulder, but I didn't short. And, you know, this isn't a stock I was able to short. I went long because I thought, you know, we had this little dip, makes the shoulder, downtrend, shoulder. Thought it was going to downtrend, and then I'll be in at a dip, and then I can have a shoulder to sell into, and that could be profitable. Or maybe it even tries to break the day high. It doesn't end up being a shoulder, and then it continues to uptrend and break out. So that was my idea with that. I did get out at the same minute, actually got out at 192. 192 was right around right here when I got out at 1034. I got out right here. Let's look at my notes why. I didn't like the price action, it seems like, and I gave it a chance to see if it was going to break the day high. All right, this one was a scratch, even though I ended up making a little. Didn't work out, that's fine. Let's look at DPLS for the 29th. Jeez. I need to not trade 7 times in one day because it seems like I don't seem to do that well. Just to, you know, focus on a few setups that are more ideal than to trade a whole bunch that are all mediocre. Here's the 29th. I was in at 1105 at 333, and this was a downtrending trend line break, reversal long, and an 11 a.m. reversal. So let's look at 1105, 333. And I'll zoom in a bit more. 1105 was right here. I got in right here at 333. And let's go over why. First was a downtrending trend line. I'm going to guess maybe it was something off of this. Maybe something like this. And then we can go back here. I'm in at 1105. I might have had the trend line a bit lower, but you know, it's just to give an idea that it has this line that it's been following, and then it breaks past it, and then it uptrends over a longer period of time. Even though this one doesn't have the best volume, I got in right here at 333, so I probably saw some bottoming price action right around this level. I got in maybe because it looked like the bid got higher, and it was now trading off of the top, and we broke past the level. And the time period, we just hit 11 a.m. A lot of stocks that are down a lot on the day when it gets around 11 a.m. is not an exact science. Some of them fail, like GGII and GEGI sometimes. And this one in particular did work out. I got it to VWAP and get above it, or at least not in this range right here. I think this one never got above VWAP. Oh no, it did. Just barely. I wouldn't have held that long, but that's the idea. Downtrending trend line broke. 11 a.m. reversal set up, and I got out. 1108 at 340. So 1108 was right here, and I got out at 340. This was actually a setup that I wanted to hold for a longer period of time, but my problem was that as it was uptrending, I wanted to sell half of my position on the uptrend, just to play it safe in that we hit the bottom, uptrends just a little blip, and then it downtrends and breaks the day low, and the setup fails. I wanted to sell half of my position and then hold on to the other half. I wanted it to actually make a higher low off of the original level, which it did right here, and then make a move towards VWAP. I don't know how I would have sold into all of this chop price action because there wasn't any more volume, or at least nothing as nice as it was previously. The candle started to look a little weird, as you can tell. And what happened was is that I placed an order to sell at 34, I believe. And then what happened was is that the bid dropped to 339. And I just wanted to save a few seconds, so I thought, let me just place a new order to sell half of my position at 339, and I'll cancel the one at 34. I placed a second order. Both of my trades get executed. I wasn't able to cancel the first one immediately because it was very quick, and I ended up selling way too early. So this was like a mechanical issue. It wasn't because I was just a chicken and I sold everything because I'm scared. I actually just wanted to sell half. I don't know how I would have traded it, but that was in theory what I wanted it to do, a higher low off of here. Unfortunately, that was the case. Let's see what would have happened if maybe I sold at 346. So maybe I sold some at 34, and then I sold some maybe at 355. So maybe something in the middle at 346. Let's see what that would have been. 13 bucks. Yeah, this could have been a super profitable week. I'm going to stick to a 40 or a $50 risk level right now, 40. Until I, really correct these issues, not trade like a newbie and that, I sell too early when it hasn't broken my risk level and it hasn't worked yet or anything like that. I need to just get better. And if I can see myself do better, I'll size up. But right now, while I'm still not trading that much money, that much in size, $300, $100 positions, $200 positions, I want to clear up these mistakes and then I'll give myself permission to size up once I do better. I don't want to just, oh, that's all right. I'm just, learning, whatever. And then I keep sizing up, sizing up, sizing up, and then I have like a really big, massive loss because, it was just worst case scenario. And then I've been trading like crap, and then, it just went horribly, and I lose a whole bunch of money, wipes out my confidence. I don't want to be a part of that. That was the case with DPLS, another attempt that actually would have potentially have been profitable, more profitable, but that's totally fine, that mistake I made. I'm not going to make that one again. It's not as bad as the other mistakes. Let's look at GGII for the 29th. I can't believe how many times I traded on the 29th. How many times did I trade on this? 7 trades. I need to not do that. Yeah. Let's look at GGII for the 29th. Back here, and we'll get this part again. Ugly chart, just sold off. This was the head and shoulders thing I traded, shoulder, head, shoulder. This thing sold off. This is an example of a stock that downtrended a lot, past 11 a.m. and it never really offered a bounce. I mean, I guess best case scenario went from 103 to 129, which seems kind of nice, but this thing was kind of ugly the way it traded. I was in at 11.25, and this is one where I bought 2 times. So even though I have like a $62 dollar risk level, in theory, this was like 2 trades combined. My average was 11.9. So let's just say 12 at 11.25, and this will only go over my first entry. We'll probably do this right here, 11.25. I had my position right here at 11.25 and my average was 12. So right around here is when I got in. Not the best entry, too bad. I could have worked out right here and then uptrend immediately. Wasn't the case. And again, wanted to be a part of 11 a.m. reversal setup, thinking that it can get to VWAP. I got out at 11.49 at 11.8. 11.49 was right here when I had my last sell in this downtrend, of course. 11.8 didn't really work out. I mean, I got in here and I got out right here. Yeah, just didn't really offer a move towards VWAP. Let's just see what a best case scenario, 167, and then just get to VWAP, would have got above it. Super profitable. Too bad it didn't work, and that's, kind of best case scenario. It doesn't really happen all that much. Another GGII trade. I guess I traded this twice, but this time I only traded a $12 position. I just wanted to see if it was going to work. I didn't include this in my stats because this was just a practice trade. I didn't trade my actual size or anything like that. I was in at 1 o'clock. My average 125. So 1 o'clock was right here. Right here at 125. And why did I get in it here? Just a tiny position to see if in theory it'll get to VWAP. I thought two things were going to happen. Either it breaks the day low or it gets to VWAP. This one broke the day low. And I got in at 1 o'clock because of the fact that it was breaking above this 12.4 level, or really this 12 level, which was like resistance, and it actually broke past it and it was getting a bit higher. Didn't end up getting that much better. I mean, it got to, I guess, 129, but that was about it. I got out 241 at 107, so 241 was right here at 107. I got out right here when it was looking like it was going to break the day low. This is an example of what I'm talking about, that if I risk the day low and it looks like it's going to break it, I'm going to try to get out. So I'm not going to wait for it to actually break, because it might do something like this. Drops from 107 into well below sub penny level. Not like, you know, the 99 sub penny level, just under 1. This thing got as low as 91. Great example of why when I risk the day low, I will cut it if it looks like if it's going to break it, even if it doesn't and it works out later. That's always fine. Didn't work out here. Tiny position size. Good attempt for what it was. Could have worked out in theory. It didn't. Let's look at GGII the next day on the 30th, which is going to be here. This one has not really offered much of a rebound, which sucks, but that's totally fine. Let's look at the 30th, which was another day of L's, just continuously downtrending, but it did have a gap up. I was in at 931 at 104, gap up, morning spike, rebound day. 931, 104. I'll zoom in a bit more. Just keep in mind that it's sold off as shown previously. Right here at 931, I got in at 104. Why? Well, I had a nasty day and they closed low. The low was 71. And now we open much higher at 1 penny. So definitely a gap up. And it could be a rebound. It could have a morning spike and try to regain itself somehow. And I got in at 104 at that point again at 931. And then I got out at 931, the same minute, but almost 932 at 108. Let's just be sure. Was it exactly 108? Yep, exactly 108 at 931. I got out right here, and I think I got out because it just wasn't able to break past 11, and there was too much price action that I didn't like, topping action, and that's why I got out. Ended up being the scratch, although it was a bit more profitable. I mean, this thing could have broken above 11 and then tried to really regain itself. It didn't do it. And let's just see what it would have been like if I had the right amount of shares. So I'm going to guess 15,000 shares maybe. Yeah, right under $40 risk level. I would have made a little more, but again, this one didn't really uptrend that much. If it did, it would have mattered a lot more having the right size. Let's look at DPLS on the 30th. I like how I traded a lot the first day, and then the next few days I didn't trade that much. And you can see my trades got a lot better from this pain right here. Just, you know, more consistency, a lot cleaner looking. If I can get my chart back right here. So the 30th is going to be right here. And I got in at 9:30. Was this the same setup? Yes. I mean, shoot, DPLS right here. I was in at 938 at 346. Morning panic bounce play. Imperfect, so not a nice morning panic bounce play. And then let me zoom in a bit more. 938 is right here. I got in at, I believe, 146, 346, I mean. Right here is when I got in. Why? Not the best morning panic bounce play. I mean, it did drop from this 38 level and it got as low as 34, but it wasn't too ideal because it was on a gap up. As you can see right here when it shows up, the close was 367, and then the next day opened at 38.8, so it was a gap up. and then that sold off, and then it went red on the day as well. So again, it would have been nice if it just went 10% at least down on the day from the previous day close. Instead, this one had a bit of a gap up, and then it sold that, and then it offered a bit more. So not the best for a bounce. I got out at 946, 351. 946 was right here, 351. This looks like something I actually traded well. Let's just look over my notes and not do that, whatever I did. It seems like I did well. I just did well. I think I was just selling while it was uptrending because I didn't like how it was just green price action, and I was worried the moment it will have some actual selling price action, it'll do something bad. And you can see it did that here. It kind of broke the day low rather easily once we had some actual volume towards the downside. This one didn't get above VWAP or anything. I just needed to have had more shares. Let's look at this if I were to have had, I guess, 10,000 shares. Oh, needed more. Would have made a lot more, $6. Again, doesn't really matter that much because it didn't work out like super crazy. It didn't get like way above VWAP or anything like that. But if it did and I didn't have the right size, that would have been more painful. So I need to try to stick to the right size. Let's look at GGII for the first day of September. Right around here. September. I've been trying to trade this for like a bounce. I never did one this week, but maybe I'll do it later. It doesn't have to bounce. If you look at an older chart, a longer chart of GGII, doesn't really show that it bounces too much after it has a sell-off, but that could always happen. I was in at 951.45. VWAP hold higher low 951.45. So 951 was right here when I got in. At this point right here at 45. Why did I get in? Well, it did have like a little panic right here. It got around this level and then it uptrended. It showed that it can spike going from sub penny 38 as high as this sub penny 50 low, which is just massive in terms of percent difference. And then when it downtrends, I had a wick here and I was trying to hold VWAP. I got in at 45 because I thought it was going to be like a higher low off of here. Here's the low, and then it, uptrends, downtrends, and then holds above VWAP, higher low, and then it ideally uptrends, and best case scenario, it just uptrends, breaks the day high, goes crazy. But this one just kind of uptrended, downtrended again, and then made a little higher, and then downtrended a little higher than here, but not as consistently clean. The volume kind of dried up. Went a bit higher, broke the level, and then it sold off. So that's pretty cool. Price action, I got out at 10.12.47. So 10.12. I sold my piece right here. So I actually held past this first one right here. That's, yeah, 9.51, and I got out 10.12. That's cool. I like that. I like how I held through this first, bounce, and then it downtrended, and then I sold into the next one. That's something I want to keep doing. This is the kind of trade that can make me a lot more money. And I got out at 47, my average, so I obviously sold some a bit lower, but I got out of my last piece at 10.12. I just remembered why I held this one a bit longer in theory. I actually sold in theory everything here, but I actually still had 5,000 shares left. But yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to be able to hold setups a bit longer. This one kind of worked out. I needed, again, more shares. That would have been just around that threshold for $48 risk level. And let's look at the last trade, which is ALST. Damn, my trading kind of sucked. I hope all of you watching this can learn and do better than me, faster, watching mistakes from other people. And let's look at the second, which was right here, the second day right here. This one's a bit interesting because it had a nice big green day, but the chart does not give it, a good sign that it can continue the uptrend. But I thought it could be different because the price action, or at least the volume, was a lot different. And, that's exactly what you would think short sellers see. Oh, it just had a little blip here, it sold off, and then it had a few other ones. Let's short the crap out of this one, and then this one is the one that keeps running for multiple days and squeezes the heck out of them. Would have been better if it wasn't a sub penny, but maybe a 44-cent stock instead. But that's totally fine. I was in at 955.72. VWAP hold, another VWAP hold. round number breakout, 955.72. So I was in it right here at 955.72. Why'd I get in? Very simple. I actually was interested in being a part of this breakout when there was a big seller at 65 and 66, or maybe 64 and 65. You can see a whole bunch of volume traded here, just under 15 million shares. Broke out like crazy. Was this too fast? I missed out, but I like how I had the downtrend here, and it was a below VWAP, and then it kind of uptrends, and then it downtrended, and then it held VWAP a little wick, just like that other stock. And now I'm in it right here at 72 because it looked like it was going to, not just do the thing where it downtrended, broke above it, uptrended, downtrended, and now it looks like it was not just holding VWAP and uptrending, but it was also breaking the round number of 70, the sub penny level 70, and I got in at 72. I got out at 956 the next minute at 75. So 956 right here, 75. Not the worst level to sell into, but ideally I could have held onto this better. I could have had like a trend line from this candle to the top of the next candle. So like right here, this one, and then the corner of the first candle that actually started the uptrend. Looks like it would be kind of hard to draw this from the way it's looking, but in theory, I could have held on to it longer using this trend line as a mental support level, and then maybe get out when it looks like it had a top right here and it's selling off and the price action looks bad. Or even these two candles. I don't know if there was volume or not. I can't really tell. No, there was actually volume, these two candles. Yeah, 61,000 and 13,000. It even broke the trend line, and I would have had a chance to sell at the same price point that I sold at, but I would have held through this, and I would have had the opportunity to sell some portions, maybe even into the 80s or at least a high 70 sub penny level. So that was something I could have done better. I sold this one quickly. It was just a very scary stock because it was a sub penny. The level 2 shifts around, and it also trades super fast, and it has a spread as well. A good experience, but next time I want to do better. That's it. Just a bunch of freaking L's. I need to do better. I need to hold better, and I need to have the right amount of shares. Until I see myself actually doing that, I'm not going to reward myself for nothing and size up and then take a big L that will wipe me out, maybe mentally or in terms of, just confidence, I guess. I just have to keep getting better, working on these mistakes, selling better, holding better, and having the right amount of shares. That's all I have for this weekly recap right here.